Maybe sit this one out, sweetheart. The beach house is already packed with Olivia's twins and Ryan's new family. My mother's text lit up my phone as I sat in the executive suite of a sleek Miami high-rise, pen poised over the final paperwork to purchase Coral Bay Retreat, one of Florida's most exclusive oceanfront resorts. My name is Sophia Langford, and at 36, I was about to become the owner of the very resort located next to my family's prized vacation home, the same family that had just uninvited me from our annual summer reunion. "We just want to keep it simple this year," another message buzzed in. "You understand, right? You're single, so it's easier for you to make other plans." I smiled, signing the last document with a steady hand. "Of course, Mom, no problem at all." What they didn't know was that their crowded little beach house sat beside the sprawling 70-acre luxury resort I had just purchased. After 16 years of relentless work, sleepless nights, and investing every bonus check from my consulting career, I had achieved something they couldn't even imagine. "Congratulations, Miss Langford," my realtor grinned, sliding the keys across the table. "Coral Bay Retreat is officially yours." For years, I let them believe I was just getting by. It was easier that way. Olivia, my older sister, was the social media queen, flaunting her picture-perfect family and brand deals. Ryan, my younger brother, was the golden boy with a tech startup that Mom and Dad couldn't stop bragging about. And me, I was Sophia, the dependable one who helped with the kids, handled errands, and somehow always ended up at the overflow table during family dinners. The next few weeks blurred into a whirlwind of transformation. I dove headfirst into redesigning the resort, pouring every ounce of energy into creating an unmatched luxury experience. I replaced outdated decor with sleek coastal elegance, added a state-of-the-art spa, partnered with the Michelin-starred chef for the restaurant, and expanded the marina with private yachts. Every choice was deliberate, every detail flawless. Opening weekend, scheduled perfectly to align with the family reunion. My phone buzzed with more messages as the days passed. "Olivia, Mom said you're not coming? Finally, the kids can have your room for their play area." Ryan, "Sorry about the invite thing, Soph. You know how it is. The kids need space." Mom, sending pics of the new patio furniture. "You're going to regret missing out." Each text fueled my resolve. They thought I was missing out. They thought I was small. They had no idea I was building a world they could only dream of entering. By the time they pulled into the driveway of their beloved beach house for their reunion, I would be next door, hosting international investors, celebrity guests, and private clients paying $4,500 a night to stay at my resort. And if my family wanted to stop by, they could after making a reservation. The crowning jewel of my vision was the infinity pool, shimmering against the turquoise expanse of the Atlantic, perfectly visible from my family's cherished beach house. A week before the reunion, my phone lit up with a panicked call from my mother. "Sophia, something awful is happening. They're renovating that old resort next door. There's noise, trucks, cranes. Our peaceful family weekend is ruined." I could hear Olivia in the background, her voice sharp. "Mom, this is a disaster. My Instagram feed is going to look like a construction zone." "That's terrible," I replied, my tone smooth as I watched through the floor-to-ceiling windows of my new executive office. Another delivery truck was unloading designer outdoor furniture. "But I'm sure it'll be fine." "We should have invited you," Mom sighed. "You're so good at handling these situations, but there's just no room this year." "Don't worry about me," I said lightly, signing off on the final inspection report. "I've made other plans." The day before the reunion, I watched from my office balcony as my family's convoy of SUVs rolled into their beloved beach compound. Olivia and her photogenic family emerged in coordinated linen outfits, cameras in hand. Ryan strutted out next, his kids armed with the latest tech toys, while Mom and Dad directed the chaos like seasoned generals. They paused often, glaring toward Coral Bay Retreat as luxury cars glided through the gated entrance, valets in crisp uniforms ushering guests into a reception bathed in golden light. That evening, my phone buzzed with a group text from Olivia. "OMG, have you seen this? They turned that shabby old resort into some kind of billionaire playground. Now we'll be swarmed by rich snobs all weekend." "Oh, I smiled, adjusting my ivory blazer as I prepared to greet the first wave of A-list guests for the grand opening. Through the glass walls, I could see my family on their deck, whispering and pointing with thinly veiled annoyance. What they didn't know was that tomorrow, when they came storming over to complain about the noise, they'd find me, not as the ignored little sister, but as the owner of the most exclusive oceanfront resort on the Florida coast. Success, I thought, is the sweetest reply to exclusion. I turned to my assistant Selvi. Make sure the Langford family next door gets a special welcome basket tomorrow. Champagne, fresh orchids, the works. After all, they're about to meet the owner. The morning dawned flawless, sunlight dancing off the infinity pool like liquid diamonds. From my office suite, I could see Dad fumbling with the grill, Mom barking orders, Olivia angling for the perfect Instagram shot, and Ryan showing off his latest drone. Right on schedule, 9:43 a.m., the complaints began. "This is unacceptable." Mom's voice rang through the sleek marble lobby as she strode toward the reception desk, Dad trailing behind her. "I demand to speak to the owner." Selvi's smile didn't falter. "Of course, ma'am. Right this way." And just like that, my family's perfect little hierarchy was about to shatter. And that was only the beginning. If you want to see the moment my mother stepped into my office and realized the truth, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what happened next. I stood behind my marble desk, sunlight pouring through the glass walls, and tried to keep the smile tugging at my lips as my parents walked in. The moment of recognition was everything I'd imagined. Mom's jaw dropped mid-sentence, her perfectly rehearsed complaint dissolving into silence. Dad's eyes swept the room. The ocean view, the curated art, the nameplate gleaming on my desk, before landing on me. "Sophia," Mom whispered. What are you doing here?" "I work here," I said smoothly. Then after a beat, I added, "Actually, I own the place." Her face drained of color. "You? What?" "Coral Bay Retreat is mine." "That's impossible," Dad stammered. "How could you? When did this happen?" 16 years of relentless work, strategic investments, and choosing not to broadcast my life on Instagram, I said evenly. "You never asked, so I never told." Mom collapsed into one of the leather chairs, her designer tote slipping to the floor. "But you never said anything about having this kind of money." Would it have mattered? My voice softened, but the edge was there. Would it have made the beach house less crowded? Before they could respond, Olivia swept into the office like a summer storm, her linen sundress billowing, phone in hand. "Mom, the spa is completely booked and She froze mid-sentence, her flawless smile faltering as her eyes locked on me. "Sophia, what's going on?" Mom's voice was faint. "Your sister owns the resort." Olivia blinked. Then she laughed, brittle and sharp. "That's ridiculous. Sophia works in some consulting job. She can't possibly." Her gaze fell on the embossed gold nameplate, on the ivory blazer draped across my chair, on the sprawling view of my infinity pool. "Surprise," I said mildly. "That consulting job paid off." Ryan appeared next, drawn by the tension humming through the air. His reaction was instant and unexpected. He burst out laughing. "Oh, this is perfect. All these years we thought you were, wow. Meanwhile, you were building this?" He shook his head, grinning. "Sis, you're a legend." I let the moment breathe before speaking. "The grand opening is next week. This weekend is just a soft launch for special guests. I've reserved the best oceanfront villas for you all, if you're interested. They're a bit more spacious than the beach house, but..." "A reunion," Mom murmured weakly. "Can continue exactly as planned," I said smoothly, "just with the added perks of a 5-star restaurant, a luxury spa, a private marina, and that infinity pool Olivia's been photographing all morning." Olivia flushed. "I may have posted 1 or 2 shots." "Try 27, I teased, all tagged beach house goals." The silence that followed was thick, heavy with unspoken apologies, old wounds, and the realization that their assumptions about me had just shattered like glass. Finally, Dad cleared his throat. Sophia, honey, we may have underestimated you. I smiled, letting the weight of the moment settle. You think? May have, Ryan chuckled, shaking his head. We completely missed the fact that our sister was building an empire right next door. Mom stood abruptly, smoothing the silk of her skirt, her poise cracking for the first time all day. Those oceanfront villas you mentioned, are they really available? Without a word, I pressed the discreet button on my desk. Moments later, Selvi appeared, elegant and efficient, carrying 5 sleek keycards in a black leather tray. The presidential villas are prepared whenever you're ready, I said evenly. They even have a perfect view of your beach house, just in case you're feeling nostalgic for the crowded quarters. Olivia reached for a keycard, her manicured fingers tracing the resort's embossed gold logo. I can't believe my little sister owns this place, she murmured. Her phone buzzed in her hand. My followers are going to... Your followers can wait, Mom interrupted sharply, startling both of us. She turned to me, eyes softening in a way I hadn't seen in years. Sophia, we owe you an apology. We haven't been fair to you. No, I said calmly, you haven't, but right now, there's a champagne brunch waiting in the private dining room and I'd hate for it to go to waste. They filed out slowly, following Selvi toward the dining room that overlooked the infinity pool. Ryan lingered behind, his grin easy and warm. You know what the best part is? He said. You let us exclude you from a reunion at a cramped beach house just so you could include us in something this spectacular. That's either brilliant revenge or incredible generosity. I smiled, straightening a black and white photo on my desk, one from years ago when the beach house was enough and family reunions were simpler. Maybe it's a bit of both. The rest of the weekend unfolded in ways I didn't expect. My family, still stunned by the opulence around them, oscillated between awe and embarrassment over their past behavior. Olivia, surprisingly, was the first to seek a real conversation. I found her the next morning in the spa lobby, staring at a gleaming wall of awards and press coverage about Coral Bay Retreat. You know what kills me? She said softly without turning. All those years I bragged about my influencer deals and Ryan's startup, and you just smiled and nodded. Never once did you throw this in our faces. Would you have believed me if I tried? I asked, joining her. She shook her head slowly. Probably not. We were so sure we knew exactly who you were. The quiet sister, the reliable one, the one who didn't need to be included because I was alone, I finished for her. Because I didn't have kids or a shiny title you could parade around at brunch. Her voice cracked. God, we were awful. And you built all this while we weren't looking. Later that afternoon, I saw Dad sitting by the infinity pool watching Mom try paddleboarding in the calm blue shallows. A small, silent redemption in a weekend full of reckoning. He patted the chair next to him. Remember when you were 10, Dad said as I sat down. You set up that lemonade stand. I laughed softly. How could I forget? You didn't just sell lemonade, he continued, his voice tinged with nostalgia. You had different flavors, a proper ledger, and, what was it? Oh, those customer loyalty cards, handmade from index cards. I smiled at the memory. You said I was overthinking it. I was wrong, he admitted, eyes fixed on the horizon where the ocean met the sky. You weren't overthinking it. You were showing us exactly who you were going to become. And we were too busy watching Olivia's dance recitals and Ryan's science fairs to notice. Before I could respond, Mom joined us, wrapped in one of the resort's plush robes, her hair damp from the spa steam. The instructors here are incredible, she gushed, then paused, realizing the irony. Of course they are. You hired them. Actually, I corrected gently. I hire people who know how to hire the best. That's what good business is, knowing when to step back and let experts do their jobs. Like you stepped back and let us make fools of ourselves all these years, Ryan appeared, flanked by his wife and kids in matching resort swimwear. You didn't make fools of yourselves, I said with a soft laugh. You just had a different picture of success, one that didn't include your boring sister with her boring consulting job. Sunday morning, on the last day of their stay, I invited everyone to breakfast in my private penthouse suite, a glass palace overlooking the endless blue. From here, the family's beloved beach house looked almost miniature, a dollhouse against the sweep of the shoreline. It struck me then how small the things we once held so tightly can seem when our perspective changes. Mom set down her coffee, hesitation flickering across her face. Sophia, are you going to sell the resort? Is this some kind of statement? I laughed, genuine and light. No, Mom, this isn't revenge. This is my life's work. I'm keeping it, growing it, maybe even opening more locations. That's what I've been trying to tell you for years. I had dreams too. They just didn't look like yours. Kate spoke up then, grinning over her phone. Well, for what it's worth, my social media engagement has tripled since I started posting about my sister's luxury resort. Speaking of posting, I slid a sleek white envelope across the table. Here's something you might want to share. Inside were lifetime VIP memberships for every member of the family. Unlimited access to Coral Bay Retreat's amenities year-round. The beach house might feel crowded, I said, but the resort will always have room for family. Dad's voice was thick when he spoke. Sophia, we don't deserve this. No, I agreed softly. But that's what family is, isn't it? Sometimes you get more than you deserve, and then you learn to be grateful for it. When they left that afternoon, their cars were stuffed with resort gift bags and promises to return soon. Mom hugged me tighter than she had in years. Next reunion, she whispered, we'll be here, and you'll be the first person we call. I watched their taillights fade down the Palm Line Drive, then turned to face the ocean from my balcony. The old beach house sat quiet, dwarfed by Coral Bay's elegance, a relic of simpler days and complicated loyalties. Across the water, my resort hummed with life and possibility. My phone buzzed, a new post in the family group chat. Kate had uploaded a carousel of reunion photos, the last one featuring all of us smiling by the infinity pool. Her caption read, sometimes the sister you exclude from the beach house owns the resort next door. Sorry, Sophia, we'll never underestimate you again. Family reunion, proud sister, lesson learned. I typed my reply with a grin. Next year, bring sunscreen. The beach house might be crowded, but my infinity pool has room for everyone. Family first. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's proving that success can take many forms. It's creating space for growth, forgiveness, and yes, an upgrade to a luxury villa with an ocean view. What would you have done if your family excluded you the way mine did? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. Tell me, was I wrong to stay silent and let success speak for itself? If this story resonates with you, hit that subscribe button because there's so much more I want to share. And here's my advice. Never measure your worth by someone else's standards. Quiet work, patience, and vision can transform your life. Keep building even when no one notices. One day, the results will speak louder than any explanation ever could.